organizations suing us based off the backbones of laws that were created to help us move forward. Many with ties to the current administration. That's why I say we're the ones we've been waiting for. What I tell my community is that we have to thrive despite what's going on around us. And even when it feels like the world is crumbling in and closing in on us, guess what? I look back and I think about my grandfather, my grandmother, and I said they went through way worse, and yet they still thrived and survived. And what I feel like is in the year 2026, a lot of these people are playing in our faces. But all I want you to do is start to take them for the word of what they really say. Over the next few minutes, this is the most important part of my talk. What is this right here? A nugget, right? It's a lot of ways this next few minutes of conversation can go, but every time I start teaching that, I want you to say what? All right, if I step on your toes in the best business way where you say, oh, I need to get something together, what you gonna say? All right. Now, if you don't say nugget, then this probably be a very flat conversation. But if you say it, this is kind of like a choose your own adventure where we get to go wherever the crowd wants it. So the count of three, I want to make sure we good. Everybody say it for me. 1, 2, 3. That's cute. Maybe because all of y'all got on suits and ties, dresses and heels. But my audience, they are borderline disrespectful to me when I'm on the stage. They talk to me. I need y'all to talk to me. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3. All right, there we go. Real quick before I forget, everybody take a picture of this. You can text TSP this number or visit tspnbl.com. And we got over the expo, my team got a free book for you, paperback book. My wife's course on profitable launching. We got the ultimate AI marketing manager for you, AI resource that we created with one of our amazing coaches in our program, Coach John Lawson, who's speaking here tomorrow, I believe. But we got everything you need over there, totally free. $5 value, no cost to you. When you text that number or scan that over and go to the expo, my team will help you get access to it. Now, I went back to my original question. Will AI help us build bigger Black businesses or help us just make small businesses faster? And again, fast does not always equal better. If we use it to make us faster, that doesn't mean the business will be bigger. It does not mean the business will make more money. It does not mean that the business will employ more people. Efficiency is not economic power. But Lamar, I feel much more efficient, right? Anybody by show of hands feel like AI has made you more efficient than what you do? There we go, right? And that's great, but that's not economic power. Economic power is ownership. Economic power is intellectual property. Economic power means we're building something big. Everybody say big. Big. So we have to think bigger. When we talk about this, Brookings Institute said 96% of Black-owned businesses are sole proprietorships compared to 79.9% of non-Black-owned businesses. What does that mean? That our businesses don't employ people. As we work with municipalities, one of the first things I think about, right, when they talk about Black unemployment being the highest in many of the cities and states across this country, Black businesses don't employ people, and most people employ people that look like them. So what if I told you the answer to lowering unemployment were the business owners in this room and the business owners you represent? There was a study called The Path to 1555. It said if just 15% of Black-owned businesses were able to hire one more employee, 600,000 new jobs would be created and the American economy could grow by $55 billion. Okay, y'all made me work for that nugget. I've been out here a good 15, 20 minutes, it feels like. 55 billion. But notice they didn't say to the Black economy, it says to what economy? The American economy. Black business is good for this whole entire country. And we will thrive whether they want us to or not. But the next stage is to build bigger. Let's talk about it. What AI is, I call it the great capability transfer. It giving us the opportunity to play at a level that we've never played at before. What does that look like? This right here is a training. We train and coach and teach and work with entrepreneurs, right? All different stages. Startup entrepreneurs, those got 6 figures going to 7, and those going from $1 million to about 50 million below. Those are our buckets. And for our top time clients, the ones doing $1 million and above, we go on a field trip every year. So we went to Ritz-Carlton. We learned about how Ritz-Carlton does 5-star service. So we learned a lot of great things I'm going to talk about in a second. But I like to experience for myself. So this right here is Ritz-Carlton in Lake Oconee. Lake Oconee is about 2 hours east of here. I don't like talking about it because I feel like don't nobody know about it. And I want to gatekeep, but I can't. So the Ritz-Carlton Lake Oconee, before we do our conferences, so before our January conference, I go up and I spend about a week there just to decompress, just get my mind together, just to work on all my content, because I teach and train a lot during the actual conference. And when I go into the room, I set up shop. Everybody say set up shop. So you see, I got my flip chart on the wall. I take a printer with me. I take snacks with me. I got my papers, my pens, my pencils, my cords, everything that I have. So this year, I go and check into the Ritz-Carlton. That night, that evening, I'm working all night. I'm working all morning. And then at lunchtime, I say, I'm going to go out and get some lunch. And I want them to clean the room and turn the room by the time I get back. Because anybody ever been out of the room and you just like praying the housekeeping get there by the time you get back? Because you don't want to be sitting in the lobby and doing all that weird stuff. Anybody been there before? So I come back into the room. And as I come back into the room, I'm saying, please clean this room. And I walked in and they had done it. I said, great. Now I get back to work. But what I saw was a little sheet of paper on the bed. And at first I didn't notice it. Now, I left the tip before I left. Because y'all know they think we don't be tipping. But we be tipping. So I left the tip before I left. And I'm thinking it's just a sheet saying, hey, thank you for the tip. Because I get that kind of stuff all the time. But when I looked closer, what the note said was, Mr. Tyler, good luck on the rest of your presentations. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks, Deja from Housekeeping. Somebody said, whoa. I said, Deja, how did you know, Deja? That was working on my presentations. Now, I forgot that I had all the stuff on the wall, a printer. I literally had a presentation on the wall, but I felt special though. So then as I went to sit down at the table, I kind of made my command center. The night before, there was only one outlet. Everybody say one outlet. One outlet. And in that one outlet, I had a charger for my watch, a charger for my phone. I had the printer. I was playing power jingle with it, right? Plugging things in and out. But what I didn't notice is the furniture it was sitting on had a drawer that folded down with more outlets there. So Deja had pulled that down and plugged in all of my additional accessories. Somebody will walk to their room in the Hilton when they get back and be like, they're looking for the outlets, right? They didn't plug nothing in. I've been downstairs for 8 hours. So I saw her plug everything in for me. Not only did she plug it in, the extra cables and cords I had, she had actually wrapped them up nicely. There you go. Somebody said, there you go. That's what I'm talking about, right? And then I looked over and I noticed on my stack of books, Deja put some Ritz-Carlton bookmarks for me. That customer experience, right? And then as I sat down, I'm feeling good. I'm like, Deja, you took care of me, girl. Where is Deja? This is amazing. But then when I also realized a few minutes later, I had taken my sunglasses off early and just kind of tossed them under the TV. She straightened them up and then she put an eyeglass cleaning cloth in front of them. What I didn't realize till later, she took my mouse and put a Ritz-Carlton mouse pad underneath of my mouse. Now, how much money did this cost Ritz-Carlton for her to do that? Somebody said 75 cents, if that. What it cost was her taking 2 extra minutes to make me feel special. But that's not the part I want to talk about when it comes to capability. What I want to talk about is this. When they made me feel special, I travel a lot. 2 weeks later, my wife and I were going on vacation. We're going to Miami. Guess where I said I wanted to stay? The Ritz-Carlton. And I go to the Ritz-Carlton. I wanted the Ritz-Carlton. Because Deja made me feel good 2 weeks before. and this is being me, right? I got a little bit of petty in me. Anybody got a little bit of petty in them? My wife and I, my wife was at the time, I took my books before we went to lunch and I spread them all out all over the place. Because I always travel with books. My wife had her sunglasses. She put them up and cleaned them up. I said, put them back on. I want to see if they can create a consistent experience. And guess what? We went to lunch, and when we came back, her sunglasses were organized with the cleaning cloth in front. My books were stacked up with the bookmarks on top. And then created the same experience I had 2 weeks earlier in Georgia, all the way down in Miami, Florida. Now, oh, don't clap up for too much. They ain't sponsoring this. I am. Now, what's the business impact of that? The average night stay at Lake Oconee is $749 per night, off season. On season, times like now, it's $1,500 per night. So what if days are taking 2 extra minutes can bring them an extra, approximately on average, $1,000 per night by people coming back? But the bigger piece is, how in the world can they be consistent in South Florida with what happened in Georgia 2 weeks earlier? Now, 2 weeks earlier, what I did is I took a picture of what happened, the pictures I showed y'all. I put them online. I just thanked the Ritz-Carlton for what they did. And they didn't respond back, they didn't repost, they didn't do anything. But what they have is a system. Everybody say system. Now, when we did that training at Ritz-Carlton, we learned a lot of things. We learned about their credo. We learned about their 3 steps of service. We learned about the Ritz-Carlton basics. What we also learned about is they had a system called class. And what class documented were your likes and dislikes, your previous difficulties, your family interests, your personal interests, your preferred credit cards. Knowledge of individual customers was stored in this database. And what they would do is they would have everyone on alert at the hotel to watch and admire, right, and study what your preferences were. Then they would feed those back to a team that would actually filter out those preferences, find out which ones are important, which ones are not, and put them into this database called class. Everybody say class. And then 10 days before you would arrive at a Ritz-Carlton property, they would look into the class database to examine what your likes, preferences, dislikes, food options were, so that they could pleasantly surprise you upon arrival. That's a nugget. What it also is capability. And it's a capability most small business owners have not had until now. AI. In our business now, we're able to do research and studies on customers, on our leads, on the behaviors that they take. We ran a genome study on our entire database, right? From 2012 to now. What did they buy? What did they do? What is their behaviors? What is the behaviors of people before they buy our products and services, so that we knew who are most likely to be the next ones in line? Normally, we would have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to a Fortune 100 consultancy to have them come in and do this. I did it in 4 hours on my laptop. A lot of what we do around sales, online, offline sales and strategy. Now we can dump those metrics and we can figure out exactly, instead of operating off emotion, we can operate off of data. Yes. But to operate off of data, we have to do more than look at AI as a tool to write better emails with. We got to train it. Now, what big companies could afford to do before, they could research and do business intelligence. They had creative agencies and media departments, sales operations and conversion analysts, training, technology, and support teams. You have access to all of this now with AI, and what you'll learn over the next 2 days. But the thing is, you have to make a decision around. So I want to give you 3 strategies to shift for 2026 with AI. How many strategies, y'all? 3. All right, I want to make sure you're paying attention. Strategy number 1, you have to move from user to owner. There is another wealth gap that is going to happen because of AI. And you will not close the wealth gap by using AI. You will only close the wealth gap by owning AI. Yes. That means you own your intellectual property, you own your customer data, you own the tools that you create. For too many times, for too many years, Black people, we are the product. What they selling is our information, our data, once we make it cool to use. Number two, we have to move from hustle to capacity.
Boulder.
Boulder, I like that. Somebody in the back said 6-piece with a little sweet and sour sauce. Well, y'all play it. We got to move from hustle to capacity. What does that look like? I told you before that 9 out of 10 Black businesses don't employ anyone. So what that means is those organizations are capped at the capacity of the founder. So I like to call that something I call the founder's thermostat. Now, in your home, you got a thermostat. And that thermostat, if we just set it to auto and we set it on a temperature, let's say, what temperature y'all like to set the thermostat on?
80.
Somebody said 80.
I sure did.
Are you from Jamaica, Trinidad, or?
80.
Listen, 80. I come over your house, we just talk outside. You know what I'm saying? I'm not coming in there. I'm not coming in there. Let's just right here say 72. Everybody say 72. 72. So if we have a thermostat, we're at home and it's set to 72. If it get a little warmer, what's that thermostat going to do? It's going to cut on and what? Bring the temperature down. If it get a little colder, what that thermostat going to do? It's going to cut on and bring the temperature back up. But it's going to regulate that the temperature is always at what? 72. What if I told you in your business there's a founder's thermostat? And it's you. That means when you say that I want to grow from 100,000 to 1 million, from 1 million to 10, from 10 to 100, guess what happens? Your mouth says those words, but your action, your structure, your system regulates it and brings you right back down to where you are today. You say, I'm finally going to bring a team, right? I'm going to build a team. I'm going to hire these people. Your founder's thermostat brings you right back down to where you are today. You say, I'm going to go to NBL. I'm going to make connections. I'm going to make it happen. And you meet people, you give away business cards, you get business cards, but then you don't have the capacity to follow up when you get home. So your founder's thermostat is going to regulate. Forget what you say, it's all about what you do. But what AI gives us the ability to do is increase our capacity. But more important than increasing your capacity, it gives you the ability to increase the capacity of your teams. Too many people look at it as a way that now I really don't have to hire anyone because I have AI. What I'm trying to figure out is how can AI assist the people that I've already hired and the people I want to hire coming down the road. Let's go to number 3. Everybody say 3. 3. Number 3 is move from business to institutions. We create more businesses than anybody else in this country. Specifically, Black women are leading the path in Black business creation. Give it up for yourselves. But now, in 2026, in the age of AI, we have to not only open Black businesses, we have to build them. From not just businesses to institutions. A business creates revenue. An institution creates jobs. An institution creates IP. An institution creates economic opportunity, not just for the founder, but for everyone around him. But you only get that if, again, you go from hustle to I don't want to be an owner, I don't want to be an operator, but I want to be someone that has a vision that stretches far further than what I ever could have imagined. And now I have the resources, the capability gap has been closed to make those things happen. Building bigger requires an ecosystem. What does that look like? I can't go into this, but this been, y'all may not know this in life, but there's been a lot of drama online the last couple of weeks about who supports who doesn't support who, especially a lot of things going on here in Atlanta. And what I tell people is they don't realize that there are multiple different groups of entrepreneurs in the Black community. You got your mom and pops, you got your internet entrepreneurs, you got your traditional ecosystems. And if I can be real, can we be real today? Yeah. Oftentimes we don't all play well together. That's a whole chicken. So we want to do that at TSP. We want to help entrepreneurs strengthen their offers, generate more consistent sales. I call most small businesses can't really do what they need to do. Hire people, advertise, go into the marketplace because they don't have CPR. Everybody say CPR. CPR stands for consistent, predictable revenue. And when they don't have those three things, they are afraid to hire the next person because they don't know if they're going to be able to make payroll 2 weeks from now. Revenue is up 1 month and then down the next, and they don't know why. So we want to help you get to that. We want to help you find the hidden revenue. Most black businesses only make, this is my estimation, 70 cents of every dollar that they should. Most of the time, if there are businesses that are already making money, we can strategically find them ways to make more money right. Everybody say now. Right? We believe that so much. We brought our coaches. Our coaches are going to be in the expo hall. Hey, how about this? We sent out an email to attendees of the National Business League Conference. And when I got in this morning, because I've been out of town all week, my director of client success said, Lamar, all of our coaching sessions for this morning have already been booked in advance. Give it up. And the coach is going to show them how to get to more money now, not later. We need to implement systems, build teams. We can help you use AI in ways to connect to measurable business results. For corporations, we want to partner with corporations through executive keynotes, leadership workshops, supply development programs, cultural market strategy, and AI capacity building. And for the governments and municipalities, we want to deliver entrepreneurship accelerators, procurement readiness, capital readiness, digital and AI adoption, revenue growth training, trainer programs. Next week, we'll be in Detroit. We got a cohort we're working with in Detroit that we brought in to help them get you more money now. What if I told you most of what we've been teaching, training, and working with entrepreneurs over the last, probably, I was about to say 10 years, and I thought 20 years, probably 30 years or more, is not what's going to help them make money right now. They don't need to sit in anybody's program over the next 6 months and figure out how to make a business plan. Because by the end of 6 months, most of them will probably be out of business. They have to learn how to make money right now. Can I tell y'all a personal story about our business? We sit on the outside of most traditional lanes, and we know we need to get inside. Can I be honest with y'all? That's one of the reasons we want to come in, right? Because we want to meet a lot of you and the good work that you're doing. We want to show you the good work that we're doing and say, how can we work together? So for years, how we're funded is that we coach and train entrepreneurs. They make more money, they pay us directly out of pocket. So we would look and say, wow, these organizations are getting grants and getting funding and all of this money so that the entrepreneurs don't have to pay. But then something happened over the last 2 years. A lot of the money they got dried up. Or not even gonna say dried up, because that's a nice way to put it. It was taken away. They say there's no need for DEI. We'll sue you if you try to allocate that money towards black people, black business, and black initiatives. I went online, they were saying DEI stood for didn't earn it. I said, how we earn it when we work twice as hard to get half as much? This is the part that's not National Business League approved, so let's bring it back home. But what we learned is that when a lot of that money dried up, those organizations were no longer able to help entrepreneurs. But because we had developed a skill for how to market, how to sell, we had systems and processes in the back end of our business, guess what? We were here still standing. And not just still standing, but still thriving. And that's what we have to be able to teach our black businesses how to do. But it only happens if we all work together. Everybody say work together. So this is what I want you to do. And y'all, one of my screens went out, so I need my time back up, please. I want you to get a hold of this. I want you to meet with our coaches over the next day. Oh, perfect. I want you to take access to the information and resources we have. Because you have to make a decision this week that you want to dominate the rest of 2026. And your decision to dominate 2027 starts today now. It don't start on January 1st. You wake up feeling good. You set a resolution. You have to be strategic. It all starts with a decision. Everybody say decision. So I want to close on having a conversation about how you can make better decisions moving forward. This will be the most important thing to see all conference. Can we do that, NBL?
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, 2 people said yes, meet me on the side. I'm gonna show y'all. Can we do it? Yes. I'm gonna ask y'all one more time because I ain't gotta be here. Can we do it? Yes. All right. There we go. Thank you. So this right here is one of my clients, Dr. Joffrey Mount Varner. Dr. Joffrey is America's decision expert, right? Wrote several books on split-second decisions. Also, in addition to this, Dr. Joffrey is an ER doctor. Now, as an ER doctor, you think that Dr. Joffrey has to make decisions every day. Do you think that they are perhaps life or death decisions if you do say yes? Yes. So, Dr. Joffrey, in one of our conferences, had him come up. This is what he had to say about split-second decisions.
Bring in your mind for split-second decisions.
Split-second decisions. So in that book, right, on the talk, he was telling us about decision fatigue. Can you talk about decision fatigue a little bit?
Basically, it's as you go throughout the day, your mind gets tired. So in other words, you've got to do the most important task early in the day. You don't spend time thinking about what to wear, what to put on. You save that energy for later in the day.
That's why we see Zuckerberg and people like that wearing
the same thing every day because they don't want to spend any time thinking about that.
One less decision.
Yep.
One less decision.
Right? So my favorite thing that Dr. Joffrey taught us, what you used to say about making no decision.
Oh, wow.
Come on, tell the people. Don't y'all want to know what this is?
So no decision is a decision. Not only that, a delayed decision is no decision at times as well.
Hold up. Can you drop that for me one more time? Because that was good, wasn't it, Krista?
Because that's in the next book. So
got to get that plug in there.
a delayed decision at times is no decision at all. Here's why. Because if you wait too long, the factors have changed, the environment has changed, the people have changed. And so you missed your opportunity.
That's one of the big things we learn is that we got to be more decisive in our decisions. That no decision is a decision piece and stuff. Because you think like, hey, I just, I don't want to worry about that right now. But you basically making a decision whether you know it or not. And I hadn't even thought about now that delayed decision, right, being no decision is good too. And when I was making this content, when I thought about Ronnie, in my own words, I was like, indecision is equivalent to death. And when I was thinking about it, creating the deck, right, I was like, when you lack the ability to make decisions in your business, in quick decisions, decisive decisions, then there's death to your business, it's death to your time, and it's death to your dreams. Because most of us ain't in business to be in business. We in business to get to something that we dreamed about the business would actually create for us. Everybody say decision. So the next 2 days, I need you, as you go through and you get this content, you get this information, you make these connections, you got to make a what? Decision. So as I did more research on decisions, I ran across some content that talked about how Jeff Bezos from Amazon makes decisions. Y'all want to know what he said? Number one, he said it's something called one-way doors and two-way doors. He said one-way doors are decisions that you make that you can't get out of. He said two-way doors, which are the majority of decisions, are decisions where you go into it and you can back your way out. He said the problem is that most of us treat two-way opportunities like it's only one way. I was training and doing a talk with my entrepreneurs, and I said, somebody give me an example of a one-way door. Someone raised their hand, one from California. She said, hiring somebody. Is that a one-way door or a two-way door? Y'all tell me. I said, you're wrong, there's a two-way. Because if we hire them, we can do what? Fire them. Or release them with love. But he said too many times we fail to be able to make a concrete decision because we act like if we do the thing, we can't get out of it. Somebody will have an amazing opportunity to build something or do something amazing with AI based on an idea that you get seed planted in you over this weekend. But you won't look at the money and be afraid to do it. But here's the thing you have.
WBDN, yeah, we live again. WBDN, tell a friend, bring a friend. Lights, camera, action, let the show begin. Won't believe